Good afternoon, my powerful MVP family. Good afternoon. It is Sunday and it's cloudy here. It's raining. It was raining last night and it is still raining now. But when I listened to the raindrops last night, I was just drawn into some thought processes. I wake up and it was like 4 a.m. and so much running. My mind was just busy. My mind was very busy. And so this morning my husband called and I was talking to him about the same things like, gone are the days. What happened to those days when we had doors with a simple lock on it? We had windows that had nothing more than you just shut them and that was it. I don't know. I don't understand it. Now we're prisoners in our own homes. Literal prisoners. You need a key to go back and forth. A key for the back, a key for the front to unlock gates. And the thing that gets in my head is that clang, that when you pull back the latch and after you take off the lock and you pull back the thing and it gives that loud clang. That's what I want to talk about today, my people. So first, let me thank those of you who have just joined the msbevsproductions family. Again, remember that my channel is just a simple one-stop shop where you get some singing, some dancing, some poetry, some motivation, and some cooking. Again, Miss Bev is not perfect and nowhere near perfection. And so I ask that whatever you watch, that you enjoy it. If it uplifts you, if it makes you laugh, then just share it to somebody else who it will benefit. Without my perfections or with all my imperfections, when I sing, I am asking that the words uplift and motivate. It's not about my voice, the cracks in my voice, or how powerful my voice is. It is just the thought that matters. So it's Sunday, and I am here once more with yet another video. Honestly, last night, early morning, as I was thinking, it's like you get to that point sometimes where you're just like, why am I doing this? Maybe I should just stop. But then I was talking to my husband, and again, the thoughts come back as to so many people who respond, who contribute to the conversations, and I so totally appreciate you guys. And your contributions they tell me that you appreciate what I bring on this channel. I remember years ago when it was, just getting like maybe 40, 50 views for a video, sometimes less. And even then, when I had thoughts of just not being bothered with it anymore, like my daughter says, and my son, Chris, he would say, Mommy, people are depending on you. People want to hear what you have to say, Mommy. You can't give up now. And so I continued. And those days I was in the teens. I don't think I was at 2000 yet. I was just chugging, just coming. Think I can, I think I can. I'm pushing up the hill, I think I can. And then today we're at 5,000 something, and I'm still getting up the hill. I'm still coming up the hill. I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. It's not drawn out anymore. But I will try to continue to do this because I am motivated as well when I hear from you, the subscribers and visitors, people passing through, to leave a comment, and the comment shows appreciation for the content. So today, the reason why I want to talk about prisoners in our own homes is, as I said, I went back to years, and those were long years when we were young, and I remembered our front door, the butler's room had a lock on it. It wasn't a heavy-duty lock. It wasn't even a deadbolt. It was just a lock made out of wood. And the door from the dining room that led outside as well had a lock that you just turn it. It was a nail in a piece of wood, and you turn it, and it prevents the door from blowing open. And the bedroom the back door was the same thing. There were no locks. The only lock that had a real lock with a key was the front door, and the front door was a double door. And because of where we lived, we never even used the key. We pull it up, it clicks into the lock, and we were gone. And Granny would come home from her farmer's meeting or whatever. She was up at my aunt's house and at the shop, and she would come home. I stayed at my uncle, and she would come home. Maybe in those days it was 7 o'clock, but it seemed so much later. We didn't have clocks to tell time. And so she would come, and by the time she comes, I'm sleepy already, but they wake me up, and I had to go with Granny, like a zombie, half asleep and just moving. And we'd go home, and we unlocked the door, no key. And we'd go in. I remember we had glass windows, and I remember it was just a push-up, and when you pushed it up, you put a nail under, and it would hold it open. And when you lock it at night, it was just dropping it down. And I remember one small window, an extra window in the bedroom, because we had the glass window to the front for the veranda. We had a small window to the side, and that small window was a board window, but you pull it in, and there was two nails on the side, and you had a cord on the window. When you pull it in, you would wrap it around the nails, and you fastened it. And that was our safety. And we went to sleep, and we slept well. We didn't wake up in the middle of the night. We slept well right through. And then as we got older, I remembered when I lived in Duncan's in the 1970s. We didn't have grill on the veranda. There was no grill at all. My aunt was a dental nurse there at Duncan's, and her husband was a policeman, and there was no grill. The doors locked, all three doors, two front doors and one from the kitchen, and they locked. And that's it. We went to bed, we slept. We wake up in the morning, and we're okay for years. And then in 1999, when I returned to Jamaica, that's when things were getting a little interesting, because I remembered people who had station wagons. That was when people would start hiring taxis, and then when they would get to a point, they would rob the taxi driver. They would bring them into Flanker, St. James. I remember one guy, he said when they hired him, they were so happy for the money for the charter, and when they would go, they would bring them into these places, drive. And he said the day when he went in, and the guy he said it was just God on his side when a Rasta man just appeared, and the guys got out and ran away. They ran away. There was another time when another taxi driver, he shared that they hired him, and when the guy hired him to go to Clarkstown, to Long Pond Sugar Estate, he said, a thought comes to his head and says, you know what, let me get somebody else with me. And he didn't say it, he just told his friend, Could you sit in with me? And he said the guy got in and sat next to the passenger in the back. Because what they would do, they would go in the back, and as the drivers drive, they would cut their throat from the back of the well. And so people were losing their station wagons. People were just killing them and taking their station wagons. But but it wasn't coming into your home or you being afraid to be out there. I remember that I used to just finish, come home from school, don't even change, just go in and talk with the kids, and I would put my stuff down and I'd walk back out the gate and talk to my friend across the street there for a while, and didn't think about it. We had grill on the house. We had the doors were grilled. The windows were not grilled, but the doors were grilled. The veranda was grilled. The back doors were grilled, and but there was no fear. I walked to church every Sabbath. I, as I said, I would come out. There was a little girl like 2 houses from our house. I would go down there after school, stay just as I go to school, go to work. And I would come and I would ask the mom for the comb, and I'd comb her little hair, standing right there at their gate, just standing there. And it felt so good. Out in the yard doing stuff. My son was to ride his bicycle around the yard, go in the big front yard, climb the mango tree, it was so fun. It was good. During that time, there was a guy who escaped from prison in Kingston, and he escaped with a friend of his, and his uncle lived in the area, past our home and go into the next district around there, and they congregated around there. They took over. They took over. As a matter of fact, at one point, they were saying that they had planned to make it a little Tivoli Gardens where nobody from our area could go in. They were going to build a supermarket. They were going to get, people were already there selling gas for cars. They had the thing set up there selling gas. And it was, once you get in there, one road would go in and one road leads out the back, and they were going to block it off and make it just, you can come in, but you couldn't get out more than get out the one way, the same way you come in. They were wreaking havoc in that area. Take people's things, and people couldn't say anything because they were gunmen. They were bad men. A couple mornings I woke up, and as I come out on the veranda we always polish the steps because the dogs would make a mess, on the steps at night. And so get up, and while the veranda was nice and shiny, the step was another story. So I would always buy all of this Genie floor polish from my friend across the street, and I would just have it. And in the mornings, it was something nice. I wanted to just clean those steps. And as I got out there to clean, I would see couple of times I saw these heap of white cars. The early morning mist, the mist on the wind, on the back windscreen. What do you call it? The back window there, the rear view mirror, and filled with night dew. Night dew. You see, the water was still there. Didn't. It just was there, and you just see like 10 of them just driving, and I'm like, whoa. And what was happening was that they were going to get these 2 guys. They know they had run away from Kingston. They were escaped convicts. They know they were in that area. But one of the things that's why crime never ends, because when there are people who know, and they harbor them, they give them shelter. And the only time you hear things happening is when things happen to them or their family, or other, then they cry out. But they knew. But they had people who were calling and telling them, oh, they're coming in. What they called them at the time, fish, something. I think that was what they had called the team, fish. in 89, in 1999. And they drove by and they went, but they never got them because by the time they got in there, the guys were done gone. But one day, that Friday, I remembered the girl across the street, she had the shop, and when I got home from school, and she said to me, Miss Bev, you hear what happened? I said, no, what happened? She said, it was supposed to be our turn tonight, you know. They had planned to come out here tonight to tear down the little shops out here and they were coming out here to heat us up out here. And God had it to do. They went into Montego Bay, did some robbery thing down there, and they traced them to the hotel room. And they were shot down in the streets in Montego Bay. Shot down. One of them, his mom was a teacher, and the school that I went to, the second school I went to teach, she used to teach at that school. And so everybody was, my God, how could, where, what happened? How could this kid become so wrong? How did he become the way he became? They'd rob buses, they would rob things. And so I just, today all of that running through my head, but even then, they didn't come and get us that night. They didn't come and tear down anything. And I continued. I want to go to Falmouth. I would go stop a vehicle, get into Falmouth, easy peasy, do your business, get back on a vehicle, get home. No stress, no worries. But then things continued to just get worse and worse. And then people, it's just crazy. This little island, Jamaica, looks like the only island with so much investment in steel. My husband is a welder, and yeah, in up in St. Elizabeth, he built a lot of gates to open and go into yards, and he built a lot of, he covered a lot of windows with grill and so you look at beautiful homes, but they all look like prison cells, like, it just, every time you need to move, you gotta remember to grab the keys. Every time you need to move, and it's not the door key, it's not the key for the door, because nowadays you have the smart doors that you have codes to get in. So it's not about grabbing a key for your door, but you have to grab the key for the grill. You have to grab the key for the grill. If you're going out the back, you gotta grab the key to get out the back. You're going out the front, you gotta grab the key to get out the front. Beautiful little Jamaica. We're just prisoners in our own homes. We can't just run out the door like we used to. Prisoners in our own homes. And the young kids who are coming up, what will it be for them? How will it be for them? That's my thought today, guys. It just rested on me. Like, will it ever go back to the way it used to be? When people could just walk and talk, have conversation, and it wasn't a problem. You didn't have to worry about what you say. You just enjoyed your space, just enjoyed it. You come home, you just want to go for a walk, you just get up and you go walk. I used to in 1999 when I returned home, because when I lived before, yeah, I used to walk, lived in Duncan's for many years, and walked from my house and go up to visit my friends from church, and we would go pick up others and we just walk, and we didn't have any fearfulness, no fear. We just go pick up and we sit on the walls out there, and we watch the vehicles pass. There wasn't so many vehicles anyhow. The few vehicles that passed by, people carrying passengers into Falmouth, and you wave to them, or they give you a shout out, and what a go on, and you tell them what a go on, not now go on, man, and just there, and they're gone, and it's okay. I would sit there until it gets dark, and then they'll walk me back home, and then they'll walk that one. We'll walk, whoever I live the farthest down, so they'll walk me home, and on the way up they drop off, and people were just loving and kind, and you know, I wasn't the prettiest on the block, but there was just those good connections that they always appreciated me, and they needed to you know, there was that thing there, that kind of a connection where we just had those good bonds, and they were happy to be in my company. I was happy to be in their company, and it was good. It was good. Those were some good days. And now you're just... But it concerned me last night, and I prayed and hoped that in time we could get back to the calmness and the peacefulness and the just the peacefulness and the ability to just appreciate God's creation and continue onward and upward. That's my wish and my prayer. I pray. So many people in Jamaica are praying. We're praying. You know, I look at even the churches nowadays, like gone are the days when you go to church, you hardly can get a seat. You hardly can get a seat in the church, until it just become where you got the few little rows that have a body here, a body there, a family sitting 3 or 4 there, and the pews are empty. And the children are angry. And as they're young, angry children, they grow up to be older, angry adults. Guys, I tell you, today was just interesting, and it just dawned on me, you know, and I just wanted to speak. It shouldn't be like this. It shouldn't be like this. End up in gated communities where it's different. But we give God thanks, and we continue on that upward, my people. So thanks for all your support. Thanks again, and welcome to all the new subscribers, and thanks to all my members, all 7 of you. Thank you so much for continuing to be a big support of msbevsproductions. Take care of yourselves. If you can't be good, be careful. But all good and do good. It values something.